Hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Welcome back. So in this video, you're going to learn how to share with your friends what you're up to when you're not working. So let's get started right away. So the question we're going to work with today is, what do you do in your free time? In Spanish, ¿qué haces en tu tiempo libre? But before we go into how to respond to that, there's a few Spanish essentials that I want to make sure that we cover together. Trust me, you're going to thank me. So the first thing in our agenda is to understand very clearly who we are talking about. So these are possible options. Yo, that's first person. If I am speaking, yo is the first person. I am talking about myself. Yo. Second person is tú. If I'm speaking to you, we've got two different options. It can be either tú or usted. There's a slight difference between those two, which we are going to cover in a different video. Third person. Maybe I am telling you something about, let's say, my sister. So my sister will be a third person in this conversation. She's not here. That would be either él, if it's a he, or ella, if it is a she. So far, we have dealt with one person only. Then we are going to go straight into the plural, meaning more than one person. Nosotros. So nosotros we use when I am included in the conversation. So maybe I'm talking about myself and my family, my friends and myself. If you are included in the group of people that you're talking about, that's going to be nosotros, we. Second person plural is ustedes, when you're talking to more than one person at the same time. This gets a little confusing. This is also translated as you in English, but you in the sense of you two, you all, you people. It has to be more than one. And lastly, if we are talking about a group of people that are not in our conversation, that's third person plural. Ellos o ellas. What's the difference? If it is a group of men only, it will be ellos, and if it is a group of women only, it's going to be ellas. If it is mixed up, it will be, we will use the masculine, ellos. So in order to share what you do in your free time, it is very important that you understand how verbs work in Spanish. So let me walk you through that little by little. Let's get started. First of all, what is a verb? A verb is an action. If you want to say, I drink beer, I go out with friends, I write in my blog, or I cook, though all of those are verbs. How do they work in Spanish? First thing you need to know is that verbs are divided in three categories, depending on the two letters that is the ending of that verb. We're going to start with category number one, which is the broadest one of all, and that is what we call AR verbs. I'll explain how that works. Good, so first category was AR verbs. And the example I chose is tomar. Tomar is to drink. So that's a good one to start with. What do? We get the ending AR, and we are going to remove it and change it depending on the person we are speaking about. So if I am speaking about myself and I want to say that I drink beer from time to time, I'm going to say tomo. See how I replace the AR with an O? Every time I speak about myself, I am going to use the O ending, tomo. Now I will show you the other endings that correspond to the other people that we can be talking about. For tú, it will be tomas. So we replace the AR for ellas. Él, ella, o usted, it's going to be toma. Nosotros, that's we, tomamos. That's the longest one of all. Ustedes o ellos is going to be toman. Now, a very common mistake that we do when we are learning is that we forget to remove the AR ending and we add the ending that corresponds to the person at the very end. So some people would say, yo tomaron. Be careful with that. You always want to make sure you remove the AR ending first before adding the ending that belongs to the person. Category number 2, ER verbs. And the verb I picked for this one is comer. That's to eat. I'm just covering the basics, drink and eat. Comer, it's an ER verb. So the endings are going to be slightly different this time. Let's take a look at that. For yo, I'm going to say como. So the ending is still an O for this case. Como. What am I saying? I'm saying I eat. Tú comes. Yes. Él, ella o usted es come. Nosotros es comemos. Y ustedes o ellos o ellas es comen. So there you got all the different endings for the ER verbs. Now, let's take a second to compare them with the AR verbs. Now, if you notice, the only thing that changes is the A for the E, but everything else stays the same. You will notice that tú finishes in S in both cases, that nosotros finishes in mos, M-O-S, and that ustedes o ellos ends with an N, and the only thing that changes is the vowel before. So keep that in mind. That is going to help you a lot when you're studying these. Third and last category is IR verbs. That is verbs that end in IR. And what I picked for this one is vivir, that is to live. It's always good to be able to tell people where we live. So, endings for this, yo vivo. As you noticed, the yo person has the same endings throughout the 3 categories. It's always o, so that's easy to remember. Tú vives. I know what you're thinking. It's the same as ER. I know. That makes it easy actually. Vives. ES is the ending for this. Él, ella o usted es vive, just as the ER category is the same one. But pay attention here because this is where it changes. Nosotros, we, es vivimos. So there's always only one vowel difference. And then, ustedes y ellos o ellas es viven. So yes, as you noticed, the only difference between the ER category and the IR category is the vowel in nosotros. Hemos with an E and imos with an I. So this is how I like to think of it. Maybe that will help you as well. As you notice, we always repeat the vowel that is up in the ending of the original verb. Except for vivir, it kind of copies the same ending as the second category does. But nosotros is very strong. Nosotros is we, and together we are stronger. So nosotros reveals against everyone else and says, you know what guys, I really like the fact that I have an ending and I just add the vowel that belongs to the verb. So I am going to do that. You guys do whatever you want. That's why we have vivimos. So to put all together, this will help you. And these are the endings that you need to remember. So for AR, the endings alone are going to be o, as, a, amos, an. For ER, they are going to be o, es, e, hemos, en. And for IR, it's going to be o, es, e, imos, en. So keep that at hand. It's going to be very handy in the future. So, going back to our original question, ¿qué haces en tu tiempo libre? So let's imagine you go somewhere and you're making friends and somebody says, ¿Qué haces en tu tiempo libre? Let's make sure you know how to respond to that. That depends on what you do in your free time, but I've got some options here for you. Maybe you like walking on the beach. Caminar en la playa. Remember, we remove the AR to add the ending that we need depending on the person. Yo. Camino en la playa. ¿Qué haces en tu tiempo libre? Camino en la playa. Or maybe you like writing on your blog. Escribir. Escribir. So you would say, escribo mi blog. ¿Qué haces en tu tiempo libre? Escribo en mi blog. Maybe you like dancing. So that would be bailar. ¿Qué haces en tu tiempo libre? Bailo. Bailo a veces. I sometimes dance. Or maybe you like eating with friends. Who does not like eating with friends? Comer con amigos. That is going to be como con amigos. Sí, como con amigos. Or maybe you like going out for drinks with friends. Drinking a beer with a friend, why not? Tomar una cerveza con amigos. Tomar, remember, we remove the AR, add the ending that we need. That's going to be tomo una cerveza con amigos. Tomo una cerveza con amigos. Or maybe you like reading. Leer. Leer. In that case, you remove the ER and you're going to say, leo. ¿Qué haces en tu tiempo libre? Leo. And we've made it to the end of the video. Congratulations, but this is a perfect time to practice. Yes, you got it. Remember this, before you go out there in the world and speak Spanish to all your new friends, you need to have practiced this enough at home by yourself. In order to do that, first of all, please feel free to go back to the video as many times as you need to make sure that you really understand the concepts. And I have also included a practice sheet that is going to help you perfect this topic. So go over it and thank you so much. I will see you in the next video.